Hello, everybody. It is I, Greg Bosson, and welcome to QuickBooks Made Easy for Nonprofits video quick tip for the month of August of 2020. And in these wonderful days of COVID, you may have noticed that your plans for the year, your budget for the year, is no longer relevant because things have changed drastically. So, what I want to show you is that in QuickBooks Online, rather than screwing with your, sorry about my language, but screwing with your old budget, I want to keep a record of that. You can create a second new revised COVID budget. And then you can compare your actuals to either your original budget or your new COVID budget. So, first of all, in case you don't know this, to enter your budget in QuickBooks Online, you click on the gear and you click on budgeting. And this is where you can go to add budgets as well as run reports on your existing budgets. And you'll see here, I have a budget by year. I also have a budget by month for the year, but that's just for teaching purposes. So I have a budget by year for the year ended June 30, 2020. And in this example, our year ends June 30. Yours may be December 31, but whatever. So I'm just going to edit this one just so you can see. Here's my original budget that I created. And these numbers, as I say, uh, may be irrelevant now because times have changed because of COVID. And so these numbers are really no longer helpful. So rather than removing this budget altogether or just changing these numbers, you certainly could. You could certainly click in here and change these numbers. But I want to keep a record of that original budget. And instead, I want to create a new second budget. Okay. So I've basically opened up another instance of QuickBooks right over here. And I'm going to go over to the gear. I'm going to go over to budgeting. And I'm going to create a new budget. Okay. So rather than creating a new budget from scratch by clicking Add Budget, I'm going to take my original budget and I'm going to copy it. So it's going to make a copy of all the numbers, and I'm going to name this budget, and I'm going to call it, just to make it obvious, I'll just call it Revised. Revised COVID budget is what I'll do. Let's see, I don't really need the year here. Revised COVID budget, because I've got the year right here. So I'll make the revised COVID budget for 2019-2020 right there. I'll click Create Budget. So now I've got a budget that I can change. Okay, so I haven't messed with my original budget. Now I have this new revised budget with all the original numbers, and I can make the change. Contributions now I think are only going to be 20. Foundation grants actually went up because we've got, a lot of these foundations are really being nice and giving us extra money. If you got a PPP loan, that's really kind of a government grant, so this may have gone up. So we'll make this just a higher number here. And then perhaps some of your expenses have gone up or down. Maybe your salaries went down, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right. So I'm going to exit out of here. And now, as you can see, I've got my original budget and I have my revised budget. I have both of them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just show you, go back to this other screen. This is my original budget. Let me go ahead and just save that. And all right. So I'm going to run a budget versus actual for my original budget. This is kind of annoying in QBO, but whenever you open this up, it's always giving it to you by month. And if I want it by year instead of by month on the report, I have to click the customize, go down to rows and columns, click accounts versus months and make them accounts versus total. There we go. Now I'm going to go to my other instance of QuickBooks and I'm going to run the same report with my new revised COVID budget. And I'm going to customize this and make this accounts versus total And there we go. All right. So I'm just kind of doing this so that you can see both of them at the same time. Okay, that's kind of what my goal is here. So let me see if I can get this working for you so you can see them both at the same time. It's really best if you have double screens if you are using QBO, but anyway, so this isn't bad. All right, so as you can see, oops, there we go. Let me try and make this the same again. All right, make this a little bigger. Okay, so here's my revised budget, and here's my original budget, okay? So you can see the actual numbers are the same, but the budgeted numbers are different. There's my original, here's my revised. So what's neat about it is that you can run your report either way, and you don't lose the original budget and you still have this new budget. Now, if you wanted them on the same document, you'd need to send these to Excel in order to connect the two. So you'd have to send both reports to Excel in order to connect the two. And to send to Excel, that's right here. You just click Export to Excel right there. And then you have to send the other one to the same sheet. But anyway, enough about that. Well, actually, you'd have to send it to a new sheet, then copy to the original sheet, actually. But that's okay. All right, so that is basically it for that tip. I'm going to kind of go back to the original dashboard. I always like to end these by going back to the original dashboard. And hopefully, you don't have negative effects from COVID. Now, if you like the way that I teach and you feel like I can explain things well, and you're interested, we have an upcoming webinar that's actually happening for the online edition, not next week, but the week after. And it's on two things. It's on reporting. We're going to go through all of these report preferences, or not preferences, but all these little report features that you can use to kind of customize your report. I'm going to go ahead and click on customize. Here's all this stuff here that you can play with. We're going to do that. And some advanced report features as well. And then we're also going to go through all of the settings in QuickBooks. There's a lot of settings. If you go to little gear here and go to account and settings, you're going to see there's all these different settings here, and people don't really understand what a lot of these things do, particularly in the advanced section. We're going to go through a lot of these. There's tons of them here, but we're going to go through these. A lot of these can really help make your life a lot easier in QuickBooks. So if you are interested in this, then go to QuickBooksMadeEasy.com. And if you go to, this is my little sales thing here, you go to webinars right here, you'll see our little 2-day webinar mini series. It's an hour and a half a day for 2 days. And it's happening on the 18th and 19th. One day is all the settings, and the other day is all the reporting. So you can learn more and sign up for it there. And I hope to see you there.